Welcome back. It's the APP868, the AP868, the Alternative Perspectives podcast. And we're here another week. I'm Nalo.
Jude, as usual.
Here we're on the inside. And this week was a heavy week, boy. This week was a week. I tell you, I sat down and I was thinking, we just talk about current affairs and things that are going on in this country and whatever. And, you know, like the last couple of weeks, we do little shout outs, little big ups to the little things that are going on, the positive things now. And like the negative outweighing the positive right now in this country, right?
Yeah, it feel like, you used to say it a lot, want to heavy down the podcast whenever we bring up crime. You used to be like, well, I want to stick too heavy, I want to get too heavy, because, crime is a heavy vibes now, way. But you're kind of feeling weird coming to talk about anything but crime now, because it's always been overwhelming, but it really started to sink into my psyche. No. I've had spells like this before where I don't want to say I felt paranoid, but I started to feel real uncomfortable being here. By here I mean in Trinidad and Tobago. But this spell here, I feel this one is the worst part. This is the heaviest I've felt. Or this is the heaviest crime has made me feel since we've really been under siege then. And I would say we've been under siege probably 10 years now.
Yeah. Up to today, I was studying, right? You remember when TV Road and them fellas sing song about crime long time? And Gypsy and them, Little Black Boy, and singing Sandra and them.
Yeah.
Look at how much years ago those songs came out, right?
Yeah.
And the murder rate and thing, even the crime rate, general crime rate, wasn't as high. Yeah. And these elders were pleading and begging and crying. Hey boy, oh gosh.
All they sort out of themselves. It felt unbearable to them then. Yeah. I mean, saying Sandra not here with us anymore, but Gypsy and Rhoda still around.
Yeah,
Rhoda don't live here, but
that's not a shaking. That's a bad joke. Too soon. Too soon. Sorry.
My apologies to King David.
Hey, King David, big up yourself. Celebrating his birthday this weekend. Right? Yeah, big up yourself, Richard. Right?
Well, I guess you wanted to lighten the vibes because, the vibes heavy. As I was saying here before we started it, I attempted to tune into the news on TV6 this evening. And tuned in early, so I caught the tail end of Crime Watch. Not Crime Watch, Beyond the Tail.
Right, yeah.
Right. And I was real surprised, taken aback to see how graphic they were. They showed a murder live on TV.
Well,
not live,
but on TV, yeah.
Yes. Well, the show was
live, but
they showed a recording of a murder. And they replayed it. Played the video, looped the video. And I felt sorry for the loved ones of the persons that were depicted there. In particular, there was one person. There was a video that showed three guys, it would look like a bar. Some men storming, sat a bus con, two ran outside. I suspect they were gunned down too because they saw some gunmen run behind them. And one of the fellas, one of the victims, he looked like he got shot first. He went down on the ground like he
lied down, yeah.
He said like he's going to play dead. And it was like, nah, I don't have enough. I want to make sure he was dead. And they woke up, blast him while he's on the floor. And but to be fair, the one who was shot like that, you never got to see his face as clearly as you saw the other two.
Right.
Because the original camera angle, you kind of seen that guy's shoulder. Right. The other two, you seen them clear as day. You seen their faces clear as day. And I was just like, is this right to be showing this on the television? I know the first time I've seen recordings of these things, but for some reason it making me feel real uncomfortable. But I continue watching it. And you heard Alexander talking, giving... for me, I didn't get to the context of the video, so I don't know who those individuals were. But from the way he was talking, he sounded like if he had information to suggest that these were innocent people. So that made it even worse. And then Beyond the Tape ends and the TV6 News begins. And the lead story is Dr. Rowley in a tit for tat with opposition members over Brent Thomas or Thompson or whatever the man's name is, the man who sells firearms, who had this little incident that, not little, sorry, let me know, minimize the incident, but who had that situation take place with him in Barbados. Now, is that a serious issue? Of course, right? But what was being dealt with, because I don't know if he called the press conference to talk about it, because they called it an emergency press conference today, but then he says outrightly what appears to be the beginning of the press conference, that he ain't come to answer no questions about that.
Right.
He come to tell you he ain't to do that. He didn't send no police nowhere. Cabinet don't send police nowhere. I have no information about that, so don't ask me about that. So I'm now lost as to what the press conference was held for. Unless he felt he needed to call the press conference to say outrightly that he had nothing to do with it, and then take no questions on it at all. But whatever. The point is, I just witnessed a man lose his life. We just came out from a day where it was crazy. 6 in 24.
I know what to say. I am something like 6.
6 in 24 hours. I don't know if these individuals in that video were part of that crap or if they were last night. I don't know. But this is what the nation is suffering through. Every day on the front page is not just news of a murder, but you're seeing grieving loved ones on front pages of newspaper dailies. Grieving their loved ones. And here we have the Prime Minister feeling the need to engage in a tit for tat. Now, listen to me. I completely understand why it might be important for the PNM to make it clear that they had nothing to do with that situation. If they in fact didn't have anything. Even if they did, I know why they would want to say they did.
Yeah,
right? So, I understand that. But this is not happening because a charge was being laid against the Minister of National Security, indicting him, saying he ordered, or, this is Pekong. This is old talk. This is Wade Mark beating up Pekong. Really, do we need this? And wouldn't it have been better to be clear, to even if you're going to make a statement about it, I'm not taking on them. I have bigger fish to fry. And then on top of that now, though, you want to hear the evil bigger kick to the teeth? In that same press conference, he announces that he's going on vacation. In Barbados. He's going to play golf. A grin on his face. Now, he's saying he's making it clear because he's saying, well, or they go feel if all they see me in Barbados, they're going to feel this situation I'm going
to cover up.
But the point is, you're going on vacation and you're making it clear you're going to play golf. Right? No.
We remember who was the fellow who was holding on before Ula was appointed?
McDonald?
Yeah. Remember he went on vacation too? When things was bad?
Yeah.
And he said, and fellas go handle it though.
But he's not I was about to say he's not a political appointee. Technically he's not. But he's not voted for on a vote. He's not an elected member.
But I think their interest in the crime situation should be similar.
Right, I agree, but what I'm saying is he would have to answer to his boss. We are this guy's boss. And the point I'm coming to is I'm not one of those people who believe that, him being here makes a difference. And I'm not saying that if he doesn't go on vacation, it'll make the crime any better. Of course not. But what I'm saying is, a man who feels he's under pressure wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
In a different place, a prime minister wouldn't feel, even if you want to go, bro, he ain't gonna feel comfortable telling the nation, in the midst of this, I go and play golf. Whether or not it makes a difference, but it just goes to show this brother real comfortable,
Listen, I agree.
As we thought.
I agree he's very comfortable. And we have said it before on this podcast. I can't see how they'll lose an election. I mean, I said what it will take for them to lose the election, or possibly lose the election, but I can't see that happening, right? But probably, man, boy, see the way they killing people down there. Let me take a week off now, boy. You understand? The soldier, the man said, there's too much pressure. Too much pressure, boy. Instead, they go start to ask some questions about crime. And I want to answer them. They're going to beat some ball, like what?
Dog. Again, no, I'm not under any illusions that him choosing not to go on vacation will make a difference in the crime situation. I'm not suggesting that. And I'm not saying he's not entitled to take his vacation. I'm just saying that it says something when a prime minister could feel okay. After we just had a kerfuffle over the police commissioner hosting a tea party.
Yeah.
I'll being accused of hosting the tea party. Right.
Party, which is a tea party being
held at
her residence.
Right. And how, the accusation of that is in poor taste. And our prime minister saying, nah. And he said in the press conference he made the decision to go on this vacation since April 14th. Cancel on.
So you feel, because I mean, we have some decent golf courses here as well. You feel,
no, we don't. Not like going.
Not like Barbados, right?
Not like going Barbados, no.
More kind of like.
No.
So, well, like St. Andrews. St. Andrews not like.
No. There's not. Barbados has some of the best golf courses in not just the region, but it's half of the world.
Serious.
Yeah. Some excellent golf courses. But it doesn't matter. Dog, if you were the CEO of a company and let's say one of those banks, First Republic, that just went under, and the signs of turmoil in the bank, you had a vacation plan, you feel you would, as the CEO, you go feel comfortable jumping in a plane and going and play golf? Even if you sitting there makes zero difference, you ain't gonna do that.
No, listen.
The board, where you going, brother? I don't care how much you pay, you cancel that vacation, bro. And this is just a company experiencing.
Yeah, listen, we talking about, you could watch responsibility as one thing, and you could watch empathy and compassion as an next. You understand what I'm saying? As I say, is grieving families, is, right? And I mean, because some people will say, well, a lot of these people who die and kind of know how to get it at. But as they say, the situation in the bar, because I was watching a video, and when gunmen started coming, men didn't look like they started scamper, because men look like, hey, what is this?
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
And I tell people all the time, I remember a time living in my old neighborhood. We linemen dog, and two men come walking, but we inside, nothing though.
Yeah.
And one man see them from afar, and he got gunmen. Was this at this point? The men ain't pull no gun.
Yeah.
Them fellas looking real innocent walking, but because he of that life, he know what is what.
Yeah.
So by the time he said gunmen and run, them fellas draw, because nobody else. Make sure nobody else can run.
Yeah.
You understand what I say?
Yeah.
So the thing is, them fellas look like
Yeah, they didn't.
them in know the life.
They didn't look like they were like the kind of people that expecting people to come.
Then you had the situation where the young lady shot through a window inside her house, she went and bathed, and she done bathed, whatever. Right?
The family in Black shares.
Which was
Where they just cornering men for the land. They calling the father, they calling the two sons now. Apparently, you know about that?
Nah, boy.
That's a big thing, boy. Well, they killed the father like some late last year, and then they killed the two sons recently, and they come to find out there's some land dispute now, right? And the people want the land, so they're killing all the family. And, well, the woman, the matriarch of the family, she was saying how she don't understand what they're doing, because even if they kill all of we, the land will go to the family in foreign, so what they're going to do? They'll go on a plane and kill them too. And it seems like the police up there know what is going on. So, because, and this is what I was trying to explain to people all along. When we allow the situation to get out of hand, it will stop being just a concern for gangsters, gang affiliated.
Yeah.
Because it will reach a stage now where, because there are guns everywhere, I have a little beef with somebody, I hire a man.
Mm-hmm.
I hire a man.
Mm-hmm.
And before I would have no access to somebody like he, I would, if you're not from
Yeah, that will.
that world, you get with somebody, you have to deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
No. You can just, well, I'm going to tell you, hey, you'll deal with it more. And you would, somebody 10 years ago wouldn't even think about that.
Yeah.
Now it's like, boy, that man was stressing me, boy, I want that land, that man. Don't want to give up on that land, boy, dog, boy. And I said, well, give me all 2,500, I'll give it a fail. And that's because we let the situation get out of hand.
Mm-hmm.
It's a wild, wild west situation going on here. And people out here only studying what's going on in the states, and the states, and the states, and want to call the states and mad people place. Dog, you understand what's going on?
Yeah, I think I understand what's going on here.
Why? So I wasn't feeling to come and do this evening, boy.
Yeah, so let me tell you what matched me up today, boy. The go show you that I get take.
I go straight where?
Right on to Mpuna.
Which grocery?
Fantastic.
No, which grocery?
So I you know, in the turn, I heading on to Mpuna. So I go show on the left hand side before Blackbird.
Oh, right, yeah. Oh, I didn't know the name of it. The one just before the gyro men and them?
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Right after the gyro man, if you're coming in.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
They had 1 foot on the right hand side, but he did no. It's just that in the moment, the I think just run it, and the one I kind of nearest grocery there. Yeah. Okay, so they take there.
Yeah, but here's my thing, dog. And but this with the people, and I see this shit. This with the people who talk about always because of hard times. These fellas doing that. You one into the terribly go. She one man with a big gun, dog. You talking about a small gun, right? And two other youth men. And it's our two old men looking to leave now, boy. So when one of the old men see what going on, he looking to they come and grab the old man, pitch him on the ground, to slap him up, to slap up our next old man. What are for, dog? You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What are for? What are about, dog? You come to take wherever you come to take, go to went to the office and we start video footage and all that, but you come to take where you come to take, which is wrong.
Yeah.
Let people. This is not about pressure, dog. This is not about hard times. If it's hard times, you understand what I'm saying?
Come on, you make sure you interfere no poor people especially.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? You come and you take from who you feel have money to take.
Yeah. This is not about hard times, dog. This is a culture of violence, a culture of advantage.
What is yours is mine.
You right? Yeah. This is what this is.
Yeah.
Because you never say the old man to leave the go and sell out the scene because you trying to make a thing.
Yeah,
it's all wrong.
You just tell pops, hey, what's it?
Stay in the corner there. Right. Relax right there. You understand what I'm saying?
You want to leave here today? So right.
I tell you, two old men who were 60. Yeah. You understand what I'm saying? You beating up them old men and them.
Yeah. Because there's him.
You understand what I'm saying?
There's him. Yeah. And the thing is now, them old men could have some son or some nephew or whoever, and they find out who them fellas is. And
you know, right now, they don't have to find because them fellas, bare face, you know, though.
Yeah.
Bare face. One man had a hoodie, but still bare face, right? Yeah. And the next man, no hoodie.
You want some of them I see, I say the easiest thing for me to tell when they come in is, I just see them wearing masks, right? But because it's of COVID, now a man in a mask is a big deal. But if I see a man, a youth man, wearing a mask.
Yeah, he ain't afraid COVID.
Nah, he ain't afraid COVID. So if I sign up somewhere or sit down and I warn them and I
So like, when it first came out today, they was talking about a man say like his Winco now, which is the Chinese Gucci.
Yeah.
I know Israel be there now.
Right.
And up there yesterday we talking about that. A man say, boy, me really fear what going on. Man say, boy, you going on. He say he really fear the crime situation. He say, big man thing, I not going no small Gucci, I not going no Chinese Gucci.
Yeah.
He said, I not going them places.
Yeah.
He said, if I was something, I jump in my car and I go, and I be Gucci.
Yeah. The mall and buy.
Yeah, that's what I say.
Yeah.
You say that.
I tell you, I don't like Chinese food. Period.
Yeah.
I not saying no Chinese place. Cause remember that point in time. Chinese place you're going to. Even if I want to buy food for somebody, I stand up outside.
Yeah. While you wait.
While I wait. If I just stand up and no, especially when I'm in a roulette table, I not inside there, brother man. You know what I mean?
So the man so the fellow was saying but then when they come on, in our group they say I was winning go to the which I know I just frequent they coming home, you just pull in there and they pick up wherever they pick up and come in. I say, what? No, the thing is, so it happened not to be Dagoshi, but I would have been shocked that if it was Dagoshi. But I remember what 3 shooters there now, though. If you ever watch the
I never went in.
serious, you know what?
No.
Yeah.
I mean, I went. I may have gone once.
Yeah, nah, they have about 3 shooters. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
So they have a security that's look normal security, and they have about 3 men who, yeah, there are one who does. There are 2 that's outside and 1 inside. Yeah, so
Well, I know one. I know a man who living where I used to live there, who was work there, but I don't know where he's there. I don't, because I never went in there. But
Yeah.
he didn't mention that he that's where he working. But I never went in, so I don't know. And I don't know him to be.
Yeah. But there are fellas there that, I mean, I'm not talking about gangster looking fellas, look like security fellas. And if you go enough times, you realize, oh, them fellas had to be security.
Right.
Because even though they're in plain clothes, linemen, or they can't line me whole day, every day.
Right,
and looking decent, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, clearly, you get paid for that.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. But then, which is the next thing you have to worry about. If you have a small business, you got to be paying real security in the strong.
Horse. So I telling you, I started to get this. It's time to ride out from here vibes again. It giving now vibes, because dog, it's weak. You can't get what. You see, if you want to start to open a little business now, you have to study men looking to extort you. If you don't want to take extortion, they come into corner. If they ain't trying that in your neighborhood, they go just rob you, just play just rob you. You know what I mean? This I hear about some young lady adopted with a follow she home from work and try to snatch you by a house. Then yesterday, I wanted to go to football out there, right? Cause ever since the Premier League thing kick off, I always say I want to go and actually take in a game. I was watching on TV, but I say I want to go and take in a game. And then, well, yesterday was a big game.
Yeah.
Guitar Rangers and AC Port Spain playing, and I said I want to go and take it in, and just I said I'm gonna go and watch it and then come across here to record because we were supposed to record last night. I said when I finish, I'll come here. And yesterday evening, a sister of mine called me. Was about something else, but she ended up mentioning her boyfriend in the hospital now because he gets stabbed. They come and take his car and find he wasn't passing over the key fast enough. Something. And something what I just... But I mean, not going to win,
Look, you see the situation with the man, he driving out Tucson, or the long one Tucson, and he pull up by the this gate, remote opening gate closed back, and they just see a white car pass, and a man jump the wall. When the man jump the wall, well, the man have 2 big dogs, now it look like a bully and something. And the man, I just see the man, because the man jump the wall and out of the gun one time now, jump the wall. And I see the case him turn around and back over the fence, and I see the 2 dogs come skating. You know what I'm saying? So I say, well, and them, if all they want to people that fire man thing, we will stand the ground. But we got to take off tax off our dog food. Because we get dog, we get fish, we got that, because I don't know. But before we jump into that, and we talking about how, people being victims and being easy prey in some situations. I found it was saying, right? Now, I think this is one the in all this talk and conversation, one of the most controversial things, one of the most controversial topics pertaining to crime, right? I didn't read exactly what he say or hear everything he said. I just get the headline. Right. But is it that the headline and the story?
Let me read what he actually said, because I think I have it here, right? All right. All the crime we have been facing in Aranguez is being committed by the urban youth, the miscreants who occupy the east-west corridor, who feel that what you have belongs to them.
All right.
I say that boldly.
All right. I ain't seen nothing wrong with that.
He says, criminals seem to think Aranguez people have money, but this is generational wealth. We, the citizens, are denied guns. We have no rights to shoot back, so we are picked off one by one.
All right, that's song. plausible too.
Right. That's essentially what was said.
So all the East Indian thing come up. That East Indian started.
You asking East Indian how the black thing come up.
Yeah.
He used the term urban.
He used the one you try.
Now, again, when people say things, right, and accuse other people of racism, it shows their thinking to begin with. Because they would say urban youth is code for black.
Mm.
You think so?
I don't think so. And I don't think so because I understand that you see people live in that urban culture that is not Negro or not African.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So he could simply mean a lifestyle.
Right.
People
Mm-hmm.
who operate a particular way.
Mm-hmm.
Now, to be fair, he was interviewed on, was it Morning Edition yesterday? Morning Edition, yes. And he had a chance to explain himself, but he didn't seem to. He didn't make himself sound any better.
Right.
So, he on one hand he's trying to say he didn't say what people say he said, but he's kind of implying that even if I did say that, what's wrong with that?
Yeah.
Right? That's the kind of attitude he's taking, because even if he said it was black, even if he was as plain as saying blacks are targeting East Indians, right? You could have said, which is what Israel Khan tried to say, kind of on his behalf, right?
Yeah.
That Israel Khan is stating that facts will bear that out. The police say no.
Right.
And the pundit is saying, well, all they saying no in a big way, I would love to see you all provide the facts. He said they did some Freedom of Information inquiry to get a breakdown, perpetrators and victims, and he says he's very certain it will prove what he believes to be right. Right, which again suggests that you can't fall back on, I didn't say black people.
Right.
Because they wouldn't say any description of
Urban people.
urban people.
Right.
Right. So the police are saying they don't have no information, no data to back that up. Israel Khan is saying he is certain that that's the case. Right? But what he said was, it is not because people aren't being targeted because of their race. They're being targeted because they feel they're business owners who have money.
Right.
Right? So it's not that the people targeting you because you're East Indian. They're targeting you because they feel you have money.
Right.
And you happen to be East Indian. Right? So Marlon Hopkinson did put that to him. Right? Give him the opportunity to say, so is that what you mean? And the opponent was like, no. He's like, well, actually, the neighborhood has been meaning around ways, right?
Yeah.
Like over the years, it's become very mixed, right? A lot of people have built up large apartment complexes, moved out, and there are lots of people living inside there that tenants who are not East Indian, but they aren't being targeted. So in other words, no. He didn't say this, but I'm just saying, if Marlon Hopkinson is saying to you, are you saying that they're being targeted because for racial reasons, or they're being targeted because, well, you know, they are happy to be wealthy people or whatever? And he's like, well, no, it's not black people, then they don't rob them.
Right.
So like so like you're saying, is there's a racial component to it, right? So he was kind of, I would say, if he was trying to make his make it seem as if his statement was not meant to be to have a racial connotation, he didn't really support that with what he went on to say. He basically saying, listen, that's the fact. It's not a racist statement if it's a fact. And I believe it's the facts. I'm sure when you get the information, we'll prove it's the facts. And we fed up with that. Right?
No, the thing is, yeah, if you're having this conversation and we're talking about mainly language, right? Which is what he initially was speaking about, right?
Yes. Yeah.
I don't know if you went...
No, he stayed in a language. At least during that interview, he stayed in a language.
Right. So if we want to talk about that language, I could see it being like that, turning out to be that way, right? Because that area has a lot of Indian people. One, two, even if there are people renting there who may not be Indian, they are not the money holders.
Right.
They are the people who own the businesses. They are not the,
Or they wouldn't be believed to be.
or wouldn't be believed to be the people, right? Who own the businesses, who might have a roti shop,
Yeah.
and who are, because a lot of what's happening as well is that, and I don't want to sound like racial too, but some of these businesses prefer cash. You understand what I'm saying? Some of them don't have no links machine, some of them prefer cash. And
People see it,
and people know that.
People working there,
Yeah.
knowing that
Right.
this is a cash heavy business.
Right? And then let me release a lot of these pests. I mean, they're not dumb as we, would think they are. So they know, hey, listen, if we pressure them, you understand what I'm saying? Especially knowing that. And I think it could be seen, or it could be thought of. And I think we could say that because us, these men, we know men on the block, dog, we know men on the street. You understand what I'm saying? And I show you here, man, kind of look at Indian people as low-hanging fruit, as easy to pounce on. We talk about regular Indian people, not necessarily urban, because there's no need to find urban Indian could press back on you, or they know they could call people and swing on you. Yeah, but the average Indian person,
As a matter of fact, we had a girl come on social media sometime and insinuate that Indian people not cool. If Indian people want to go have fete, I don't want to go have fete because Indian people not cool. Nobody had a problem with that.
Yeah.
But yes, that.
Yeah.
So again,
yeah, you understand what I'm saying?
well, just anybody who not in the ghetto is
Yeah.
easy pickings. Is anybody who they feel is upstanding citizens, money people, nice family kind of thing. Right, them is low hanging fruit. Them is people we could take. That's essentially what.
And I think Arangwa's the area where you have a lot of those kind of people now, right? Arangwa's Bamboo might have some of that too, but I think the in and out of Bamboo might be a bit difficult, right? But and so I think it has some truth to the statement.
Well, listen. Again, I was prepared to accept that Indian people may make up the majority of victims, and African people may make up the majority of perpetrators. I don't have no facts to back that up. I don't have the data. But if you told me that, it wouldn't be a surprise to me.
Right.
So if he's simply pointing that out, I was prepared to say, well, yeah, that's fine. No, I know how stupid people are, and they hate, and this is the other point he was making. These are some of the other points. We'll get to that in a second. But I know how stupid people are, and whether it's the truth or not, it just wants to make me feel bad, wants to get my feelings, I kick up off us, right? So I was prepared to accept that. But he seemed to be going further than that, to suggest that, no, he thinks there's a racial element. He thinks that there is, as I say, he didn't say that outrightly. But when asked if that was, you think it's really the targeting them because they're Indian, or you think they're targeting them because, well, let me see, like, the whole thing, tried to explain it. And he's like, well, I don't know about that. The area mixed and they don't jump in nobody else. Right? So he is trying to make it that he feels there's a racial element. And that I don't know to be, I don't think that is the case. Now, if it is, again, what you're saying is you feel they're being targeted because they are soft targets, or they are believed to be soft targets, then again, that's almost the same they are saying they're being targeted because they don't have money. But as I say, he didn't want to quantify or qualify the statement in any way, shape, or form. He seemed to be gunning hard with they're targeting me because we straight here. And I don't know if you want to go down that road.
But you see, I think, no, I understand. If he had qualified a little more, but based on like what I was saying before, it would have make obvious.
And he was given the opportunity to.
It would have make it much easier.
Yeah, because you say what you said in that forum, and maybe you didn't explain yourself properly. So, but you were given the opportunity.
But no, here's my thing, right? And this is what I would note against him either, because if he's of East Indian descent, and this is what you're seeing, this is what I could feel.
No, I don't hold anything against
him. No, I just say it. I just say it. Right? Generally, so I could understand this is what I could feel.
Yes.
You could feel like, You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
They're targeting we as Indians.
Yes.
You understand what I'm saying? You can feel that way pretty easily. And for anybody to try and discount or discredit that, I think you're being unfair, if you understand what I'm saying. To somebody and their feelings, you're lacking empathy in the situation.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
So,
No, I listen. I wouldn't hold anything against it. I just saying, well, I could ride with the statement to a certain degree in the sense that if these are the facts and these are the facts, and I'm prepared to believe that those are the facts, right? And I think most people are prepared to believe that those are the facts. They just pretend that they don't believe that those are the facts, right? But I'm prepared to accept that might be true. And my initial thoughts were similar to what Israel Khan was trying to say. Yeah, but listen, it's not that people have a hatred for Indians, you know what I mean? It's just they might be seen to be the people with businesses, with money, with blah, blah, right? But the other element of it is one where I just stop short of feeling like that is actually true.
yeah.
But I understand. Listen, and this is the crux of the matter, and this is why we'll never get to the bottom of any race relations situation in this country, because nobody's prepared to actually have an honest conversation. But everyone have an honest conversation. No, you just want to tell people how them wicked and them bad and you innocent and sit down and shut up to me while I complain about how you just make me feel. But we don't care about the other team, the other side at all. We aren't prepared to. As you are saying, if you are looking around and you are seeing who the perpetrators are now. Chevelle Ramjatan, as the one who the pharmacy owner who was shot.
Oh, yeah.
Schoolmate of mine.
Serious.
Was a couple of years ahead of me, but we used to play cricket and thing in school together. Know the brother.
The thing is, I don't know where I know him from. I know the face. I think he has been around. Like, yeah.
Well, to be fair, after school days, I might have seen him maybe 10 times in all these years since I left school. So I can't say he's a limer.
No, I don't think I know him from Lyman, but I think he's from Castro.
Well, he like cars.
Yeah.
You might have seen him in karting.
Yeah.
You might have seen him more in them things. He's a man who like car. But yeah, former schoolmate of mine, right? Colleague of mine, hadn't spoken to him in years or whatever, but everybody from our around that those years that cohort in school, we were familiar with him. So obviously, I think that was the one that got them really pissed. Now there's all kind of talk about what was really going on with that. I don't know, right? I don't want to speculate going to that, but it seems like people are of the opinion or willing to accept that it was a robbery going bad.
Right.
And this is a man closing up his business in the evening time. Wife children, them are no father again. So when you are in that situation, this house get breaking, that house get breaking, and everybody seeing the perpetrators. Everybody seeing what the perpetrators look like. And you want to tell them that they must be sensitive to how you feel when they complain. You really think that that's going to work? You really think that coming at them with a combative attitude and talking about slavery and colonialism and blah, 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 you feel that going to matter? You feel that is going to assuage their feelings at this point in time? They are saying, these are the perpetrators, and we are the victims. You can talk all you want to talk, bro. I know what I know. You understand what I'm saying? And you could pretend that you don't feel so, or you don't know. You can talk about all kind of shit. You can talk about, I just get up 200. Now, again, is crime only something that affects Indian people? Of course not, but I don't think that's what you were saying.
Yeah, and as I say, once he is speaking to his area, it is hard for you to come from the outside and discredit what the man said. The man is speaking that specific area. You're not talking about the whole of Trinidad.
And not all, who does commit crime. And, another curiosity boy, he was in my class, my year at least, Taimba Sanan. He's a sociologist. Now, I just happened to see he was interviewed on the news. But he was on, I think he was on Morning Nation, I saw the snippet on the news, right? Now, he had harassment when he was in school. You don't have harassment when you have a bullet, but he's one of them Afro-conscious, whatever, right? And it was so wild to me. No, I don't talk to him again. I don't have a contact with him before, but if I saw him, I wish I would speak to him just like I'm speaking to you here now. Because what was wild to me was that he was dismissing the idea that that crime was largely perpetrated by one race, and the other race was largely was disproportionately victimized. He was denying that outrightly, saying that statistics don't bear that out, right? He didn't say where he got the statistics from,
Yeah.
but he said he denied it, right? And to be fair, he denied it without necessarily quoting any statistics. But then he went on to talk about how we have to take a different approach just to dealing with crime, because we have a thing about only focusing on the hotspots and so on, so on, so on. So where is some places like Westmoreland, which to me, in my opinion, are the real hotspots. Now I was going to ask him, how you know that? Where your facts? Where your facts? Do you have information that you should be given to the
police? Yeah.
To the police service, because you know people in Westmoreland who are doing. No, these are your assumptions that you are bringing to the discussion, and then you complain about somebody else bringing their biases and their assumptions to the. You don't know nothing about nothing. You keep hearing things about, you see, who does be bringing in? We have to deal with who does really. Who you know that's bringing guns? You know who does bringing guns? I am sure some of them, if you show them, some people who are big out here, they wouldn't do it. Because them and all, there's accused everybody else of being racist, but they can't believe a man in that, from that zone, could be a big shot. It must be somebody over here, or it must be somebody over here. But they know nothing. They know nothing about nothing. They don't know who bringing what, when they're bringing it, how they're bringing it. They know nothing about nothing. But they bring their preconceived notions to the discussion, and hey, them is the ones, and they should be targeted here. No, you just have your bias. You have something against the 1%, so you want the 1% to get locked up.
Men just behave like if gun could only come in container and avoid. Men just behave like if gun do come on pirogue, on creator gun do come from on pirogue.
And only big businessmen could bring in them kind of things. But they knows nothing about nothing. You understand what I'm saying? As I say, if I could sit there and asking myself, I said, but where you get your facts from? No, that's just your biases. That's your preconceived notions. And then you're accusing somebody else. When he says Indian is the victims and there's only black people perpetrating it, you're vexed. That's a preconceived notion. Here are no facts to back that up. Where are your facts to back up that?
But look, the other day, Rondell Fields in his, efforts to try and help how you could help with this crime situation. Talking about, he's talking about how men are neglected and young boys neglected. I think he say is about I really want to misquote the figures, but it was way more than 50%.
Yeah.
Are the people who are murdered.
Yeah.
Are black boys, African boys, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, he talk about how much is gang related and then how much of them is mainly African youth.
Yeah.
You understand what I say?
Yeah.
So, majority is gang related and majority is African youth.
Yeah.
So, I'm not saying I'm not saying African youth side want to blame, but it
Dog, listen to me.
It says something.
All of these people who just talk all this talk, if you observe their actions, you will see what they really believe. How will they operate if they're in a particular zone?
Right.
If they're in another zone. You can talk all you want to know, you can pretend all you want to know, but how will you operate when in this zone? No, if you're from that zone, it's a different zone.
Yeah.
But if they're not from that zone, how they'll operate there, and how they'll operate somewhere else. Now, to be fair, in Trinidad, they have no way you can operate normally, unless in that gated community. If you're really hip to what going on out here, they have no way you can feel comfortable. I don't feel comfortable, no way. Right? You understand? But half of these people out here talking, and they only hotspots, blah, 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 true criminals, blah. Okay, so then why let us be lining up to go and party with them same?
Yeah. And if them people not in the party, you don't want to go to the party.
Exactly. If it had too much of the same miscreants that when they talk about, you ain't want to go to that dance. You know what I'm saying? But the 1% and them who you say is the real criminals who get away with everything, you want to go and rub shoulders with them. So what we're really doing, what we really say, is just talk now though. It's just, and that's why we can't. Now, the pundit didn't make a point, right? Which is, it's wild to think of how people is responding. Like I was saying earlier, he said urban miscreants and you say black people. So wait. What does that say about what you think about black people? I said, because let me be honest, Naldo. He could be using that statement and using that description, and that sounds like the appropriate way to describe those sorts of people. They're not likely to be from the countryside, right? They're likely to be living in urban areas and living what we might term the urban
lifestyle. Urban music, urban dress.
everybody,
Right.
right? And there would be miscreants that talk about everybody living up on the east-west corridor. He said, urban miscreants. How you take that and apply that to all black people? You understand what I'm saying? What does that say about what you think? And they will say, well, he dog whistling. No. I think it shows what you think about your own race of people. That he says, urban miscreants, and you ain't just say, well, yeah, the man talking about them out and youths on them. Them youths on them out here, they're out there. There's miscreants. Whoever doing it is miscreants, you know, whether they're Indian, they're African, they're Chinese, they are miscreants. So that we have we can have a qualm about that.
Yeah. That is why I say plausible.
And if they're urban, that's also largely plausible. So what is, but David Muhammad got thing, and this one got thing, and that one got thing. All of them get itch, and they had to jump up and scratch now. When he made a statement and described a particular group, and you have now taken that, and you have, somehow that bothers you. Somehow that you share some sort of affinity to urban miscreants. That says a lot about you, bro. Not about the pundit.
Yeah.
It says a lot about you. And I find it's wild that people don't even, these things will occur to people.
No. Because when it started with your signal, dog, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Sometimes you had to pull the signal from far enough to you signal, you know. You know, you had to reach.
Yeah, exactly. And some of them, I don't think they're virtue signaling. No, I think they are upset. They are genuinely upset. But what happens is they are upset because they just they insist that everything. They don't realize that in behaving the way they behave, they show everyone else that they themselves harbor those same stereotypes in their brain. They feel that same way about their own people. Because otherwise, if I had heard that, bro, like live, and up to now I haven't heard actually that audio of it, only read it. And he kind of said what he said in the interview. But if I was listening to that and he said, yeah, and these urban, and these crimes are being perpetrated largely by urban miscreants along the east-west corridor. Okay? I feel so. Don't you feel... when you're talking about the crimes being committed in our West, we could assume they come from the east-west corridor, right? Who you feel committing the crime where you live? Not urban miscreants?
Yeah. And let me tell you why I think I understand the urban miscreants term so well, right? It's because I would have found myself a lot of times saying, is these black youths now? And then you realize, nah,
it's not black.
It's not black youths alone. You understand what I'm saying? And then you realize, you got other people.
Not just as not black youths alone, you know. It's not the black youth. It's the miscreants of
no, right.
The
Yeah, then yeah. So, you know, I just, you know, you showed something while, you know, and then you realize, okay, is a particular type of person.
Exactly.
You know, and you realize the people who, as I say, live in a particular lifestyle, urban dress code, urban music, urban.
Yes.
You understand what I'm saying? And then you realize, okay, so then it's how people who live that lifestyle but not criminals. And then then you see is the urban ones, pests, the ones who we identify as pests. So you could see them up to no good. You understand what I'm saying?
And that's what we're talking about. Now, because he's a pundit, and because these same people like to themselves engage in racial talk, they hear that from a pundit, and I know what he really means. Okay, all right, maybe you do know what he really means. And as I say, from the interview, it sounds like he's willing to accept that he might have meant a particular race, right? But the point I'm making is, you are claiming he's dog whistling. Well, maybe then you're the dog.
Because you hear it.
You hear it. I didn't hear it. You know what I'm saying? And I think you hear it because you like race talk. You like that racial confrontation.
Like when it's about inner city youths in the States, like if it do have white people living in inner city, and I do have other minorities,
Hispanic, other races. No, dog. When you hear that and you think only one thing, then that's you. Because again, if he's dog whistling, you're the dog. Because I didn't hear that. It didn't offend me. I didn't poke up on like, oh well, yeah, but he talking about me. I don't share no affinity with any urbanist.
And here's the funny thing. Somebody who might be listening to this for the first time would say, well, they must say that because all the all they know it is to come from the ghetto. All they know, you understand? Like, all they know the urban. So all they know must consider themselves urban. So it didn't hurt all, it didn't bother all it. I just like, I work on an urban radio station for 9 years of my life.
I don't even go and listen to quick urban credentials to people. I mean, there was clowns. The point is, I am not an urban miscreant. And okay, let's say I was an urban miscreant, right? And he said that his urban miscreants committing them crime. Why go get vexed? But am I not a miscreant?
Yeah.
And what makes me a miscreant? Not the fact that I do that kind of shit. So if I was an urban miscreant, I would get offended because, okay, he talking about me and I just do them kind of shit because I'm a miscreant. And I'm not a miscreant. So I don't feel as if he's speaking about me.
No, I say urban people might feel like we not understanding that, but because when you use the word urban, because they might want to dismiss or not hear the miscreant part. You understand? Or feel like when he say the urban, it lumps all of us together, and we don't understand because we ain't urban enough. You understand what I'm saying? I just say, people funny, people funny.
Well, anyway, like I say, if you hear that, then you are the dog he's whistling. If he used coded language and you understood it, then you are the dog, not me. You know what I'm saying? I don't hear that and hear me. And I don't feel the need to defend urban miscreants. And his whole thing on the interview was, why? You see what we're doing here? We have this whole big long discussion about the statement and not about what's going on in my neighborhood.
Right.
Now, to be fair, it's not like if people completely discounting that. But the people of Arangwes have to deal with their own situation. They're coming up with whatever community thing or they hire security firm and wherever that they do, right? But they have to deal with it themselves while the Prime Minister up on a platform pelting words, pelting here, pelting there, and everybody's just ignoring the situation.
Which is who is the substance? Let's imagine you paying taxes and how going to pay for your own security though.
Yeah, boy, dog.
That's what.
Yeah, boy, dog.
This man, you have a business and you're paying taxes and you're going to negotiate, paying taxes and stuff, and you have to pay for your own security.
Yeah, as I was saying, while the Minister of National Security seems more interested in letting you know he's not leaving, he's not moving from his post, than feeling some sort of concern. You know, he doesn't seem to be bothered by the fact that every day all he does do is talk. Nothing changes.
But
while he's talking, bodies are dropping.
I think to be fair, the only two things he gotta do is talking and sleeping. Like only two things he gotta do.
Bro, this is why I know I couldn't be a politician, because in his position, Dan, he has to fight to hold on to his job, not because he need the money or anything like that, right? I don't know his finances or his financial situation, but what I'm saying is the primary reason he might be fighting so hard to hold on, it's not because necessarily what he want, but it's just to give in would be it would be seen as a political failure. The reason why they wouldn't call a state of emergency is because it would be seen as because it's a political game they are playing while people's bodies dropping. But me as a politician, I go fed up coming and tell all the same thing, just like how we fed up coming on the podcast and say the same thing. I would get fed up of coming on it, and I constantly say, well, we will be, and every time you talk, well, don't worry, we will, and you're not doing anything. So after a while, you're like, hey, okay, I'm going to ask you a question. Be like, well, don't worry, we will get, and you're not going to get anything under control, and it'll come back next 6 months, and if he had an ounce of integrity, you'd be like, hey, bro, I out. I'm not the man for the work.
We have seen more murders in 4 months than we have seen in entire years of
prior. Yeah. And on that note, we coming to the stand your ground issue. The legislation.
So the opposition suggested stand your ground.
Yes, they wanted to. They made it clear that they want to table stand your ground legislation, which is essentially nobody knows, nobody's seen this white paper that they prepared. They don't know. I don't know what the legislation look like. I don't know if anybody has seen it, right? But basically, is something that would allow for people to defend their life and property against trespassers to the point of taking the life of a trespasser, right? Now, let be real about everything. The opposition is putting that out there for mama guiting. Right? When I say mama guiting, that's not what the people of Trinidad and Tobago really need. Now, to be fair to them, they are also talking about liberalizing licensed firearms, right? But that's the more important thing. Because what's the point of having standing ground if nobody has guns?
Yeah,
Right?
yeah, exactly. I know what to say.
And because it's not as if we've been seeing a lot of instances where people have been defending themselves on their property, but running into legal issues after. And because we don't have protection for people in that situation, they are finding themselves facing the law when they were defending themselves. I don't know that that's an issue. I don't know that that's the problem people have. Like, listen, I want to bust the gun on this man who come in my, but if I shoot him, it's problem. As far as I'm aware, I know of no incident where somebody was attempting to trespass or burglarize or invade anybody's home. They were shot and killed in the course of that by a licensed firearm owner, and that licensed firearm owner ended up before the courts. You know of any incident like that?
I was thinking about it, not here.
Right. So
Yeah.
that's the point. It doesn't happen here. So introducing that sort of legislation, that's not going to be a...
Well, I mean, introducing is outsourcing out the
FUL
situation.
Yeah. So it's just them wanted to say home invasions is a big deal now. As the opponent was pointing out, there people said to be the ones more often victimized. So they want to appease their people. So they want to seem like they're standing up for them. So they put this out there. I don't think it's I don't think it's legislation Trinidad and Tobago needs, because I don't see people defending themselves on their own property as being a problem at this stage. Now, maybe if more licensed firearms are out and about, maybe that might be the case. But that's the situation now. And I hate when people say that it's being proposed as a solution to crime. I don't think the UNC proposed it as a solution to crime. They proposed it as a means for citizens to
protect themselves. Yeah, there's a difference, because the crime would have done been in place and happening.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, because people like to respond to things like that by, well, I don't believe that will actually bring the crime down. I don't tell you I want a gun to defend myself to bring crime down. I want a gun to defend myself. I don't care if crime going on or not. I don't believe crime is going on. So give me my gun, let me defend myself, because these people aren't defending me. So I hate when people say, oh, that is being proposed as one of the solutions to crime. No, it's not. It's being proposed as a means through which the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago could defend themselves against criminals, defend their right to life, enshrined in the Constitution. But barring all of that, what do you think of the Prime Minister's response?
Was that at the time when somebody climbed through your window? Or climbed through some window?
Well, yes, but he said, he basically said that he's not supporting it, right? He told the UNC, don't bring it to Parliament because we will not be supporting it. Insinuating, or outrightly stating as it's going to create a lawless society. And again, the draw for the US. Places in the US that have that law see in trouble now, and they want to rescind it.
Well, I know people said a kind of fight a standing ground thing, which I haven't heard about people fighting against that standing ground recently. Was the Trayvon Martin thing.
Right.
But I didn't hear people fighting against that recently.
Well, I mean, when he says that,
or is he conflating standing ground?
Well, no, when he's just saying once there are critics of the legislation, then that means people want to rescind it. But the reality is, Florida is the most as far as I'm aware, the most famous standing ground state in the US. And they re-elected the governor who kind of championed, well, he didn't champion it, but he made it clear he wasn't going to roll it back. And he was voted in a landslide victory in the last election. So is it the people of Florida, do they really want to...
So I don't know.
But people criticize the law. So in other words, if Black Lives Matter are trying to point out that law allows for, that black people are victimized or whatever, well, that would be a criticism of the legislation. And certain groups who have their vested interests would argue that the legislation is problematic. But what I'm saying is he's conflating the fact that the legislation might have critics, which every legislation has.
But I mean, he has done things that people criticize,
Right.
and did he get rid of it?
Right. So, but obviously, he was talking in his
Yeah.
thing. So it was like people had opportunity to question. He just says that. But I think what he's pointing at is the fact that people do criticize the stand your ground law because they say, well, that's what Trinidad and Tobago, blah, blah, blah. But the point I'm making is that the people of Florida clearly aren't unhappy with the law because they re-elected a governor who was like, yeah, I'm all for that, right? I want to give the citizens the right to defend themselves on their own property. And he was re-elected in a landslide. So clearly the people of Florida are quite happy with their stand your ground law. But he likes to cherry pick and, so again, you go talk about what happened in the States as a reason why you shouldn't have a firearm in your house. You know what I mean? But he doesn't ever mention the fact that we have a far higher murder rate than any part of the United States. And we have no First Amendment law here, First Amendment in our Constitution. So what's the point you're trying to make?
So, well, this is the point. This are acting. Is it that he conflating the issues a lot of right now in U.S. government?
No. There have been critiques of.
No, I know there have been critics, but I don't think that relevant. If he
to somebody who watches MSNBC or CNN, it seems like that's like everybody in Florida wants the stand your ground laws to be rescinded. If you look at that platform, those sources, then you would think that it is everyone that is up in arms about it. Because it has been heavily criticized by people like Black Lives Matter, because they say it has been used to victimize black people quite a lot. And he said that. He said they use it as an excuse to kill people they hate.
Right.
That's what he said, right? To commit legal murder, as Nathan Springer pointed out in the video, right? He did say that. He said that they use it to commit legal murder. So yes, it has been heavily criticized, and that is what he is using as his statement to say, well, they places where they put that in place, they're in trouble now, and they're trying their best to rescind it. No, they're not. In Florida, people of Florida are not interested.
But this is why I said he's saying they want to rescind it. This is why I'm confused.
Right.
Because I don't know if the only thing I can see right now when he says they're trying to rescind in any way is the Second Amendment.
The First Amendment. I think
The second is gun ownership.
Okay, the first is freedom of speech?
Yeah.
Okay, right.
Yeah, the Second Amendment. That is the one that...
No, but they can't... No, what
they're
fighting for gun control laws?
But right, I know, that was it. So that's the only thing when he say rescind, right, I just time rescind to put in rescind with what he say, right? But I'm not saying...
But nobody's trying to get the Second Amendment of the Constitution repealed or removed or over.
Well, no, there are people who are, but yeah.
Well, right, yeah, but what they're fighting for gun control laws. But there are people who have been fighting for the repealing, I shouldn't say rescinding, but the repealing of stand your ground legislation, particularly in Florida. And like I said, Black Lives Matter has been at the head of that for quite some time, because the argument is that it is used to victimize black people, right? And now that we've had all these incidents of people trespassing,
Right, and shot.
Right. Again, it's in the news. So again, as I said, he's using, but the reason why he would say that, or he could say that and feel that is what is happening, is because if you look at the news, that's what the news will make you feel like, why everybody's sitting and tired in front of this. But nobody stops and takes a second to think, but wait a minute, if that's the case, then why are they constantly re-electing politicians who are in favor of these things? Because the people who are in favor of keeping the laws in place aren't represented. Their views aren't represented there. It's just the people who want to see it done away with. But forgetting all that, I don't want to get sidetracked with that. The point is, the Prime Minister is offhandedly dismissing this legislation, not because, for the reason I just gave you, which I don't think is the game changer, because we don't have guns anyway. So, and we don't have an issue where these people who are having their homes invaded are finding themselves in jail or before the courts because they defend themselves. I haven't heard of any of that. So I don't think it's necessarily a legislation that needs to be focused on. But he's not dismissing it because he's just dismissing it because, it sounds like it could be wild. It could be wild. And then the states are trying to repeal that. Like, what is that? What is that? And why does that pass for political discussion in this country? Why is he allowed to get away with that? To be like, we're not having a substantive discussion about the legislation, which is, well, nah, people go use that to commit legal murder. What? What?
I mean, so I just wonder, is it that Rowley this kind of thing the cheap way out and latch onto the leftist and the liberal ideologies and talking points? So, you know what I'm saying? Because that is already pushed so much on mainstream media in the States. So if I kind of just...
Well, no, okay. I think that he, just like everybody else who looks at these things coming out of the United States, they get... Okay, so if we ask the average person in Trinidad and Tobago, should we legalize guns? They'll say no. Because they'll use America as an example.
Right,
because they're being flooded with, they've been inundated with news that is the case. But I don't even want to say, what I'm saying is that whether or not it's good, bad, or indifferent, let's say the people of Florida are let's say there's their efforts in the Florida Congress now, or wherever is the seat of government in Florida, to have that law repealed. That's the point I'm making.
No, but that's not the point I'm making either. The point I'm making is it that because you know what the narrative is coming out from their media, and you know our people here who is taking their media or taking that side of it, then you don't have to when people bring things like this to you don't have to actually go through it and see if it makes sense or if it don't make sense or it's because like I explain that I know if I say this, everybody will go along with it because that's what in the mainstream media in the States, so everybody mind on that now.
But the more important thing is, why would he feel the need to dismiss it? Because whether or not he's using this as a way to he's grandstanding on the political stage, I'm talking about, whether that's the case or not, but he is not making efforts to liberalize firearm ownership in Trinidad, right? He is saying no, that's not happening, and he's also saying no to standing ground laws without giving having any substantive discussion about the legislation. So what I'm saying is, I'm not talking about why he's using these talking points on a political platform. I'm saying because he's dismissing these things, right? Why is he dismissing, or how is he being allowed? Well, I shouldn't say how, because we all know how. But what I'm saying, the irritating thing is that he's being allowed to dismiss these things offhandedly without any substantive discussion about the legislation. So he gets to say no gun ownership because it's wireless in America, and nobody say, hey, listen, I don't want to have that jackass you discussion you have in here now. I want to have a discussion. We are not the United States. Well, but we have more issues to deal with.
But that's exactly the point I'm making, that because that is the narrative coming from the States, if he could do that now, and he already know that we kind of brainwashed by the foreign media. So I could dismiss that and just not have any substance.
Why is he even trying? Why is he not saying, well, yeah, I think we need to, citizens are crying out for guns to defend themselves. I think we need to look into this. Why is he not even, again, I'm not talking about why he's using the spin to deal with people. I'm saying why.
But why would he though? You think he living in any fear?
Well, okay. There are going to be elements of a crime plan that are going to be put in place, right? He himself has nothing to fear whether people have guns or don't have guns. Nobody come and shoot him, right? He have his armed guards. He's the most protected person on the planet. Well, nothing but, you know what I mean? So, not happening to him either way. But what I'm saying is there's an outcry. We have a situation, serious situation. Why is he not even contemplating it? And why is he dismissed? Now, I understand why the average person says, oh God, as I said, they read the headlines, they get frightened. And think, or I would like to think, that he's a little bit brighter than that. So, why is he not going past that? Why is he acting like just everybody else? When he's supposed to be the one like, all right, cool. Yes, yes, those are incidents that are taking place in a very large country, and even when you take all those things into consideration, they still don't have a murder rate anywhere near what we are experiencing here in Trinidad and Tobago. So I can't pretend that legal firearms is the reason why people getting killed here. and people are crying out. People are saying, listen, why won't you say? No, I'm not saying to, make it, like everybody over 17 who could sit an exam to get a gun. But he could be making gestures to say, listen, we are looking into the firearm, the FUL application process. We do think that there are a lot of stopgaps involved, and some of those stopgaps might be a little bit too onerous. And we don't want the wild, wild west, but we hear the cries, especially from the business community, and we want to address that. Why not even contemplating that? Like, why is he just essentially acting like the average retard who's just like, well, no, thing, boy, people cheering, oh, still what going on in the States, you think we would happen there? There was a school shooting in Serbia yesterday. Serbia don't have no Second Amendment. And the youth man had a kill list for everybody
that he wanted.
That he wanted to call. But yeah.
Now, I think that is exactly right. He don't feel like he's shitting in any way. You could cry out how much you want. I think it coming down to weighing it. Okay, some people want to free up the guns. How much you want to free up the guns compared to how much people who just think.
No, but what I'm saying is now, I'm not saying, I don't ever expect him to say, all right, everybody over 18.
I know saying that he didn't know. Why saying
so,
it?
But there is no cost, there would be no cost to him, and he don't even have to do it. He could say, we're looking into it. He could say, well, boy, we really find the FUL.
Yeah, but then if he say looking into it, then Gary will be right.
You think it's Gary he's studying so?
Well, yeah. Well, as you say, all this is political games, All this is political games.
Well, okay, so that sounds plausible now. That could be the disadvantage to doing that, because what I'm saying is I couldn't see a political downside to, because you're not saying, hey, everybody want guns, you got me AR-15 for everybody, right? But the business community that's saying, hey, who crying out, hey, we need to defend yourself. You're appeasing them and saying, hey, listen, we're looking into streamlining the process a little bit more. It really is, the process isn't as transparent as it should be. All the criticisms of the application process, you could acquiesce to that and say, yeah. But I guess what you put forward there probably is the most plausible explanation, that it would make Gary right, I guess. Like, it would be given into a suggestion that was put forward by the other team.
And then he ain't going to shoot that. The ship will faster sink than that person. So, now what this person was suggesting might be what we have to do. We might have to change up a little bit, but you know what? Gary and all say, I'm willing to help Wale. Tell Gary, hey, sit down, white dog, boy.
Well, yeah, that would never happen. But I didn't really even think that, that Gary's championing of the FUL license, or the liberalizing of the process, might have hindered his thing. But I guess yes, I guess that is associated with Gary Griffith. So if you make that,
and then as you did always say too, he does only acquiesce to pressure. He's only bow to pressure. And once you're not getting pressure, I know we're not doing nothing that will make Gary Griffith look right. He had enough pressure from the citizens. So what's the worry now? The only thing we go, and people always say, the day reach on their doorstep, or have to get close to them. Then then you see real crime.
Then it's no state of emergency.
Yeah, it's state of emergency, and they go see thing, and then they hear about with this Operation Anaconda. You understand? Might be Anaconda in this show, I know it could be, but you understand?
Yeah, if one of them child get kidnapped or something like that, then all of a sudden it's state of emergency. Then the thing you couldn't do before.
But that's what we know them fellas was. They really did. They genuinely, in my opinion, they don't care. They really.
Well, I know they don't care. I know they don't care, but I just couldn't figure out what would have been the hindrance. No, not saying one of them goes to sleep with the plight of the human being in Trinidad and Tobago on their minds. They go to bed with what to do tomorrow, what does one say, how this looking, and in the case of the Prime Minister, he going to sleep with playing golf on his mind.
Yeah, man, so he just know he had to go Barbados and 18 holes up.
chill the vibes and them. Vibes the Virgin and them and play golf. Well, men getting corn left, right, and center here in Trinidad. Anyway,
Yeah.
it's time for some cricket.
Yeah, you want to do cricket?
Alright, so the first thing I wanted to to point out. So I don't know if you see the saying to look for the file could cost $800,000. The probe into what happens to the file. The file that went missing in the venture.
Yeah.
Like Paul Coolman.
But
Accused.
yeah.
Civil case. So not only it may cost the state the 20 million.
Right.
I say may because they're appealing whether they have to pay that or not. So it may cost the state the 20 million. The cost of the appeal and $800,000.
And then the cost, the extra, it added to the 20 million for permit you just even longer.
Right. Yes.
So you're looking at about 30 something, nearly 40 million.
Well, boy, I don't know how much the appeal itself will cost, but I mean, if this Nelson man take $800,000 just to look for the file or look into what happened to the file. How much the appeal will cost, but how much, well, first I had to seek legal opinion if to appeal. And let me be real, they will say appeal.
Right.
Because they want the money to appeal.
Yeah.
They want to get hired to New York to appeal. So, they'll appeal. Now, let's hope they're successful in the appeal. Like I said, there was, Ralph Murrah just pointed to some Privy Council case that may have laid the grounds for us to be successful in an appeal, but we don't know that, But $800,000 just for the inquiry, dog. Will you do something?
Nah.
Will you do?
To ask, but who signed for the papers? Who collect the papers? Okay. So yeah, now John, when you collect the paper, we'll do it on that day.
Just to go through the chain of custody. All right, bring this, bring that. Let me check this. Let me check that. So wait from here. And then the file just reappear. Right? So what? I just had a question, people.
I think I'll bring in Scooby-Doo.
My word, 800. I want to walk like that. Wait, don't wait. A few months with. I yeah. Remember the bacchanal with the AG and the DPP.
Yeah.
Right? And the AG saying, hey, you're not understaffed, bro. You just manage your resources properly. Well, a report from the AG's office came out this weekend. You see it?
No. What are they saying?
They say the Director of Public Prosecution, the Office of the Director of Public Prosecution is short-staffed by 114 employees, with 226 out of 330 positions currently filled. So the AG's office is confirming.
That what they say was wrong?
I don't know. I don't know if that's what they say anymore or not.
Yes. Well, but that's what the man said from the start. So is it that...
And they said, no, you can short staff.
So the person who, from the AG office, will they put that information out there? Will they make any boss look bad, boy?
Well, I think it was... Information was requested as part of some kind of report.
Okay.
Had to be done. So I don't think they had a choice. They didn't just put it out there all with right? I think it was requested by the DP.
We had to lie, dog.
Well, boy, I think you'll put yourself in more problems if you do that. I think at this stage you can just, because look at it this way. That skirt, nobody noticed that this weekend.
Well, and so I think something like that the AG should resign for. Let me tell you why, right? Because the DPP office is clearly a very important office in terms of helping these cases, right? Alleviating crime and get these cases out as fast as possible, get people tried as fast as possible, lock up people.
Yeah. Justice denied is justice denied.
Right.
If we don't have a function in DPP's office, then...
And it's justice denied both ways, right? Justice denied to the person who needs to go and be tried, and justice denied to the victim, the victim and the people of the country, right? So, I think, and if they make a wild statement like that,
Right, just him, I mean, the Chief Justice kind of back him up to like, I don't think DPP and shit.
yeah.
So,
I know. I think people should. I think people should. Share if your office come and have to put the reports in that, is that because I didn't want no apology at this point, boy, dog, boy, because you understand what I say?
I don't think you get apology from them anyway.
Because people looking at me and my office, I was like, wait, that's all really how the continuity is. You understand what I'm saying?
I was just like real surprised how this came out in the news easy. This week, yeah. And nobody seemed to notice.
Same thing.
Nobody asked questions more. But your office saying the man short staff. But you were saying, but let's be fair to the AG, yeah? Technically, he did not say that the DPP's office was short staffed. What he said was, the DPP's office was not utilizing their resources properly.
Right.
He did mention that there were other offices, public offices, that were operating under capacity that were not falling short, like the DPP's office. So to be fair to him, technically didn't say that they were short-staffed. But I think if there were 114 posts supposed to be filled out, Phil, I don't think you could tell the DPP, you're not managing the resources properly, bro.
I listen, because at this point, it's slaves and beats.
12 years a slave?
Yeah. That's what you're telling me. When you're understaffed by 100 something people, and you tell somebody you're not utilizing it, yeah.
Well, there's all these positions here for them. So then remove them. Them streamline the office. Don't have them as positions that the service commissioner to fill or whatever. You know, I'm saying service commission. What do you think about?
Or they wanted this one service commission?
Yeah. What thoughts on that? Ronnie said the service commission and them hamstringing we blocking for non-functioning. But he didn't say this. But blocking for non-functioning public servants.
Well, the thing is, what I must say, what 100 resume the service commission never even get a call in nobody, dog, boy. And I think in that regard now, boy. So I have my personal issue with them now, boy.
Well, I think they're specifically referring to the Public Service Association as well as the service commissions that in charge of teachers and the GLSC. Judges and so on and so forth. Not necessarily what we refer to when we talk about the service commission. So you see, in essence, them service commissions make it hard for us to get a functioning service because.
But the point I'm making with my thing is it that the same shit has been on in the general service commission going on in those? If you understand what I'm saying, the same.
Well, the Prime Minister say his words were their so-called independent service commissions, right? Which would lead one to believe that he doesn't believe they're truly independent.
Yeah.
And because if, again, you can extrapolate from that he thinks that there are certain sorts of manipulations that are taking place in those service commissions because they are not actually independent. I don't know who they would be holding to other than, well, the party in power. But, and if they be holding to the party in power and you are the party in power, then you should be getting what you want done.
Yeah.
You should be pointing to them and saying they are the reason why things can't get done properly. But I don't know. I mean, I don't have much of an opinion on it. I like anything that could get the public service up and running properly. Any sort of, because I know how these things start. These things start as well. We want an independent commission that can't be influenced by politicians. So, things like you being not a friend of the administration wouldn't stop you from getting jobs if you're the right person for the job. So that's what these things start as. But then,
but the thing is, this country is so small that it's very hard for the politicians to not be able to influence anything.
Right. Okay. Right. So what I'm saying is,
whether they remove it, whether they come up with something else, I think we're going to end up in the same khaki pants,
I guess we go. We got to hear more about what they suggest. Because you recommending a tribunal, I need to see or find out how that will be different from the current setup. before we could know how to feel about it or not. But I said, let me just throw it out there. The Virgin Cummins,
Yeah, way.
back in the papers,
Yeah.
she under some problems. The Express alleging that some of the claims he was making about the funds not making their way into his personal account, say, nah, they find evidence. Suggest that
Mark was one of the men.
he was part of the what?
He is one of the men who was main man in the hunt.
Serious?
Yeah, way.
Yeah, I didn't see his name attached to the report.
Yeah, so he have a thing going on TV6. We got Mark TV6. Man,
Not freelance. I do you just go wherever they pay for the story.
nah, he got Mark TV6.
Oh.
And the man is a whole series.
Oh.
Yeah, the man have a whole series. So you didn't see it. Yeah, what is his name? David Abdullah. You didn't hear what he was saying?
Oh yeah, it's really Mark was name on the report yesterday, sir.
Yeah. No, if you saw if you heard the thing David Abdullah was talking about, which could be very interesting. Hey, and I do. Freaking Samsung and Android could be real for shitting up here something like that.
Yeah, I agree. I love a Samsung, but Android.
Yeah,
It is
you open the app and the app sticking.
miles behind the iPhone.
Yeah. That is the man in the Muslim dude who stuff with the little accent, with the kind of accent thing.
Which Muslim do so yet something? But David Abdullah is not a Muslim.
I was saying it's not David Abdullah.
David Abdullah is the
David is something Mohammed?
David Muhammad, the man
David
from
Mohammed, yeah.
Black Agenda.
Yeah.
Yeah, David.
Yeah, so if I tie up,
Man, say stop with the accent.
you don't want to talk with the accent?
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
No, he born and go right here, as far as I'm aware.
Minister of African descent is on the front pages of the newspapers and being featured in major news segments in parts 1, 2, and 3 on a daily basis on the news because of a loan of $15 million that he got. And I'm putting it to us that there has always been a discomfort with African people being in the possession of wealth. That same government minister is in an environment where many of the non-Africans have much worse situations where they acquired much greater sums of money in much more unlawful means, and they were never placed in the media.
Much more.
They were never humiliated.
Much more
They were never embarrassed. But a black man with that
That's
kind of
wild.
wealth signals red flags to some gatekeepers who don't want to see black people as landowners, business entrepreneurs, and millionaires. And according to the research of Sister Maureen Thompson in Africans in Business in Trinidad and Tobago, which she published in 2008, Ram Kirpalani owed $250 million when he passed away. Lucky Samaru flopped at least 2 or 3 local airlines, owing First Citizens Bank $150 million that he never paid back. Dr. Lenny C., who was a P&M government minister of East Indian descent, was forgiven a debt of $25 million by former Prime Minister Patrick Manning.
Yeah, and he does on. Yeah. He goes on to, so he's spinning the race card in it.
So the thing is, so you think that Mark Bassant decided to go behind Foster Cummins because Mark Bassant is really uncomfortable with the idea of allowing me as me know. Yeah,
I agree. I don't have accent anymore.
Well, I mean, when you say accent, I don't.
Yeah.
I think you mean like a foreign accent.
Okay.
He just talks like kind of a Ponzi. If it's in England, you call it a Ponzi accent, I guess. So yeah, accent nonetheless.
Right? So the thing is, I'm waiting to see, how things unfold. They say Foster says certain things. You're seeing certain things contrary to what he said. He said he didn't do nothing wrong.
Well, yeah, as far as I'm aware, he hasn't commented since this last.
Yeah, since the last thing, yeah.
Came out. They basically saying, listen, you said the funds never made their way to your personal account. We have evidence to suggest that that's not the case. they're suggesting that certain things are not supposed to happen in credit union practices happen in his instance. Now listen, I think that despite what that learned fella there is trying to spin, I think if Foster Cummings is being targeted, I don't think it has anything to do with his race. I think it may have to do a lot with, politics.
Right.
Somebody seeing an angle where they could pierce, they've seen a chink in the arm where they could pierce. Some people probably want him out of the way for one reason or another.
Right, right.
So I think it has a lot more to do with that than Mark Bassan saying, no, course, on the fact that a black man has money and he's going behind him. But, dog, I think anybody who is, and to be fair to him, he calls his show the black agenda, so he's very clear about having an agenda, right? I don't listen to people who have agendas because people who have agendas see what they want to see in everything. You know what I'm saying?
So, not to cut you, but because the thing is, based on, and why I want to play this is because I just share how they spin things that way. No, yes, I understand they call him a bad debtor as well, right? That's part of the thing they say about him. But right now, that's not the major thing they're focusing on.
Yeah.
Not the fact that he's not paying back the debt or having paid back the debt. The main thing they're focusing on now is you said one thing and they suggested.
Well, the first thing that was implied by, and it was brought up by the UNC, not by Mark Bassan, but it was brought up by the UNC. First implication that they were trying to make was that he was getting preferential treatment. The family business affairs was because he has connections with the government, he getting millions of dollars in contracts or whatever, and that was a problem. And that was the first insinuation. And then there was all of the issues regarding where the money went, and he had explanations that he had divorced himself from the business when he became a minister, blah, blah, blah. That was the connotation. It was the usual, just like what they do with almost every politician, try to imply that they're involved in corruption. Like they're doing now with Terence Dale Singh.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Implying that some family, he had land in some highway, that they're going to build some highway somewhere. And what's Terence Dale Singh? Is he African? So this was a political thing from the beginning. And I think whoever, maybe Mark Basant, let me not say that. I don't know that that's the case. But somebody smelled blood in the water and they're going after it. They're journalists and they're presenting a story. But he has to, his job on a daily basis is, how can I look for racism?
Yeah.
Because I have to come on radio or on my social media or whatever and talk about racism. So I have to find racism even if it doesn't exist. I have to read racism into every situation. Because if I don't, what am I going to talk about? What am I going to do? That's my shtick. I don't do anything else. I don't come up and say, well, something happened today and I can't find a racial angle, I think this was just above board. No, then nobody will listen to me. You know what I mean? So I have to come up every single day and read racism into every single situation that occurs, right? And someone then would say, people like him would say, oh, you all are just blind to what's really going on, whatever. The point is, I don't listen to people who have agendas because I can't trust you.
And the people who, I think the person was in charge of the board when it had the bacchanal, the Foster thing. I think it was an Indian person.
In charge of what venture?
No, venture.
Oh, okay. All right. I don't know it.
Yeah, I think it was an Indian person. He's an Indian person.
Maybe.
But anyhow, yeah, I think we just had to wait to see how it all unfolds. I mean, I know people within the PNM believe that, or are saying that Foster wants to run for leadership of the party. So, I mean,
this is why these things are coming out.
No, they didn't say that. I am wondering, if there is a possibility as well. I mean, at the end of the day, he's in a marginal, so the UNC could, because if he could discredit somebody in a marginal, it helps. They would, so
yes.
You would think it would help you.
Yes. When
that time reach. Terence Dale Singh is also in a marginal.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So if you start to discredit the
incumbents in those areas.
in those areas, it could help you when
shake up things.
Yeah.
Which is again probably the reasoning behind all of this, and not. Anyway, let me come off David Mohammed, city fella. The other thing, well, the US, they finally dropped the vaccine mandate for international travelers coming into the US. Well, it will be dropped next week, Thursday.
Good, I want to actual deal.
Well, it's May the 11th.
No.
So, that's actually Tuesday, right?
Me know something like that. What it is?
Yeah, that's not Tuesday.
It's 40. I think it's 40 next Tuesday.
Yeah. My daughter birthday is the 10th, so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, as us, plenty of people still, I by the barber just the other day, and the man, nah, you mad, nah, that's not, well, man, you cannot. I don't know if all the airlines enforcing it. I can't tell you if Border Patrol asking everybody to show a fax card. But I know that if you're traveling American Airlines, bro, when you go to check-in,
You can get pressure. You getting pressure.
you're getting pressure. And nothing, nobody said nothing. Oh, they don't know how powerful these people are. How powerful the people who wanted that in place, how powerful they are. So it gone now.
Well, it going.
It going, right? And I should mention, the situation with respect to mandates for employees, federal employees, all that going.
Yeah.
With it. Any thoughts?
No thoughts really. I mean, we know it had to go at some point. I find it took too long to go.
As far as I feel like that will stay in place forever.
Serious.
Because it lost its usefulness. So why now and not a year ago? You know what I mean? So I might think as if they're gonna carry it on for this long, why would they ever drop it? You know what I mean? Unless it started to be incidents where Novak Djokovic is probably the only instance of a real famous person trying to enter and getting denied. So unless it, that was happening on a regular basis, like they can't hold certain events because headliners can't come in because of this or that. And to be fair, I think they would have worked around that anyway, because they'd have let those people come in and quietly, because Novak Djokovic couldn't come because he was open about the fact that he was not vaccinated. But I'm sure plenty of people, just organize a card and come, you know what I mean? That kind of thing. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it never moved. Because I thought, no, it ain't any less effective now than it was a year ago.
Well, the thing is, I think you can remember it in certain places that the thing get lax, I mean, I know people who left here without being asked that on particular airlines, and a lot of people go on another particular airline, they get pressure. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I know somebody who went to the US quite recently and tell me, nah, dog, nobody asked me nothing.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think it wasn't serious or anything. We had to officially put out something now and we asked.
Well, May the 11th, they earmarked for the end of the state of emergency and the public health ordinance, right? They had put that out a while ago. Now they put out that when that comes to an end, these things will also come to an end. But bro, you saw the video I sent you with regards to the report that was done by an investigative journalist who uncovered that some of the groups, the civil liberties, some non-governmental organization, NGOs in the United States who were advocating for vaccine mandates were funded by Pfizer.
Yeah.
Specifically by Pfizer, not just my pharmaceutical company, specifically by Pfizer. It's crazy, bro. So, considering that, I didn't think this thing would have ended.
Yeah, so do I still want the pressure to make back? Well, to make some cash.
Well, listen, I think things like that will. This is my opinion here, right? But I felt like those policies were showing people what they were paying for. This is what you're paying for. You're lobbying. Alright, I put in this policy. This is what you're paying for, right? It's not harming them. So I felt as long as it wasn't harming them, because you're not hearing any outcry from people around you.
Yeah.
When America dropping this thing, I think just keep it in place because this is what they're paying for. This is what they're paying for. This is the performance that you want, and so they were doing it. So I found it strange that they came and announced that it was coming to an end. But I was just so vindicated when I was able to show people, I told you it was still in place. Because the thing is, I wasn't seeing it on any of the recent travel advisories now. So when people were doubting me, I was finding it hard to find evidence now. But when I saw the White House powder, I was like, see, told you.
So the other day, I was considering making a trip to the US, and my aunt asked, "Oh, no, they vaccinated?" I said, "My wife and I vaccinated, but really not vaccinated." And she was like, "Yeah, well, so that's what I thought." I said, "I don't think we have vaccines for children here."
No, but and it was never required for people under 18.
Right?
Yeah.
So I was telling her, I said, I don't think, it's required for it. I don't think that the vaccine here for children anymore. She said, "Oh, we better go and find out what to do,
No, but it was never.
I know, but right?
Travelers,
Yeah.
18 either.
Yeah, I know. Right? So I was like, all right. I went and checked, and when I checked this, I see it wasn't required for children under 18. And I saw it was still in place. So
I don't know why I was finding it hard to find updated advisory that stated it now. But maybe I was just looking in the wrong place. But
so I mean, it wasn't kind of here or there by me because I probably can't find a vaccination card. No, I been realized. I don't think I could find that. I might never, even that they safe zone shit, dog. I was not on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So
You never even use it.
yeah, I still was on that. The only I had it kind of close by for was where I started work. If I required to like cool out a shirt, but they never asked me for it. Even though they asked other people there for it, they never asked me. So
so that's it.
yeah. Yeah, well, I don't think I have anything else pressing in the crickets. You see, the artists, like I touched it.
Yeah.
We met that youth man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, before he had boss, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
And I didn't even realize when I heard the Bridging music, I didn't even realize I was the same guy we might be even.
Yeah.
And the thing is, once you draw it to my attention, I can't unsee it.
Yeah.
His face now. I remember seeing it and thinking I know him from somewhere, but I just thinking it's some youth from Belmont. Who was real small when I leave, and he just dropped down. I could, didn't realize it was that same youth man we met the evening when he went to interview his producer.
Yeah.
And they say, well, he left this yesterday, and people want to associate it with some unkind words he had to say for a supposed community leader.
Mm-hmm.
Well, boy, we gonna never know.
But the thing is, we hear more and more that people associating them things. I mean, there's people who seem to be more of that world than we are, right? And I mean, I've seen people in groups saying, "Yo, social media killing these people because
Clout, they're looking for clout.
yeah,
Singing anything,
right." Also, I saw there's a producer called KG. I don't know KG Music, right? But he's produced and he's do videos and things too.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Yeah. I see the logo come up at the end of.
Right. So he's do videos. His thing is reality TV or reality something is the name of his production, right? And so he did a Instagram. Well, he did a video on whatever platform he did, and they put it up on Instagram. He put it up on Instagram. And he talking about thing and the youth and the this and the that and complaining and boy, we lost a lot of people. I real confused now. As I will always say, I don't blame the music 100% for what's going on, right? Well, it does contribute to what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And you pour that kind of music.
You put that energy into the world.
Yeah, and that's what puzzling me,
Well, it don't puzzle me no more, It's because everybody is afraid of accountability. Everybody likes to wiggle out of accountability. They want to do what they want to do. And if you draw to their attention that the things they're doing might be causing certain, they start performing mental gymnastics. No, it's not me, and it's he, and it's she, and it's them. So, I don't raise my youth properly, but, if he go there and terrorize, it's not my ears. The government who didn't give me a walk and who didn't, look, just today I was listening to Pastor Dutton on Morning Edition, and he was talking about somebody. He mentioned that he went into Kelly Village with Rondell Fields to have a intervention. He say he went to the arts nest. They're a bad boy place in Kelly, for people who don't know. And he went in there. I mean, he talk about how he does operate, has been out there for a long while. He's really going these zones and right. So he was talking about that. And he was saying that some of the youths, because Marlon Hopkins is asking him, so okay, you're going with this message, are they receptive? Are they listening and are they whatever, right? And he will be like, well, some are. But the thing is, when we go to them and we give them ideas for employment, like we tell them on the MyLAC program and so on and so forth, they are saying that can't get them the kind of money they're making out there. And so Marlon says, and that's the problem, right? And Pastor Dustin didn't go further on it. But I was wondering, what is the implication of that? What are you saying that's the problem? So what are we supposed to do? We're supposed to give them all the money that they need?
And the only one in the world. Give all of them a Benz and Real Gold and Jordans.
So how is that? Is it society's fault that they don't feel they could make the money that they want to make to get the things that they want? How about being like everybody else who do have and just do it out?
Yeah, I think that's, well, we were talking about that even before the thing. I think that's one of the biggest problems in society today, And I mean, if you could see it in every socio-economic situation you're in, people just don't want to do it out.
Right.
So it have the ghetto youth, the lowest form of it.
Right.
But then it have the people who
Middle class.
The middle class who willing to borrow, borrow from, when you talking from bank alone, but willing to borrow from their friends, willing to, you understand what I'm saying?
Lenders run up the credit card.
Cards, you understand what I'm saying?
Everything.
And it's because people just don't want to live
materialistic.
without, dog.
And to the person who's of a middle class background, who didn't grow up in the life or whatever, it might not occur to them to go and lock a neck to get money. So they'll do shit like what you just mentioned. They'll put themselves in debt, and then, and same thing I talk about accountability. They don't sit and say, well, it's my fault I'm in this situation. They reached their middle ages and they had to work till they're dead, and they hate the work that they're doing, and they say the system screw them, and it's this and it's that and it's the other. When they didn't save nor invest every cent they made, they put it into a vehicle, or they put it on a vacation, or they put it in mass, or they went all-inclusive fete, and then they hit middle age and they hate their work and they can't see their way and problems, and they blame somebody else. And the ghetto youths, as it were, when they can't don't want to do it out, unfortunately, we just have to suffer because the only way them know is to
come and take.
But largely is, and when you confront people with these things, everybody just it's not my fault, it's his fault. It's not if she didn't give me and he didn't give me and the government didn't this and the government didn't that. So to come back to the producer, it's like, if you say that to him, yeah, but dog, you cannot tell me that you constantly put out violent energy into the world through your music and then expect that people are not going to allow that to penetrate their psyche and then go out there and behave in are you putting guns in people's hands? Of course not. But would you deny that we don't ever deny that if people constantly giving you negative information, that you are not likely to succeed in life because you're going to develop a pessimistic outlook, right?
They come like, would you have a child and inject those kind of things in their brain constantly?
Of course not.
Right? And the reason we're saying no is because you're realizing that energy doesn't work, right? Doesn't help.
Yeah.
But my question to you, right, which is, then why don't delete them songs from YouTube, though? Delete them songs that pushing that kind of vibe?
Oh, okay, you didn't want to do that, but just change. Change. Say, I don't know if you're a part of that no more, though. Like, I can't. I see where this is going. I see in...
No, to be fair, he kind of going on that road.
Okay.
But because his last couple songs was,
conscious.
Yeah, a little more positive, whatever the case may be. But my thing is, don't deny the fact that you had a part to play in getting us here.
Yeah, exactly.
No matter how small it might be, you had a part to play.
And I don't think it's a small part at all. I think that if you are putting negative energy out there, and you're putting it out, you want your music to be popular, you want everybody to be listening to it. So when people wake up in the morning and first thing is gunshot this and 45 that and AK this and 3.7.6.4, whoa. You think they were just like, all right, cool. Listen to that. All right, no, I'm going to put that away. No, I'm not saying people don't do that. I'm probably the best example of that. I grew up listening to Bounty Killer and DMX and all that shit. And I could have still put on a suit and tie and go to work like a normal individual, right? But clearly, less and less people
are able
to do that.
to separate the music from
and because I think what is happening now is the culture is becoming too all-encompassing. It is too easy to find other people to get involved in criminal activity. When I was younger, it was a lot more difficult. Yes, it was around me, and it was possible if I wanted to, but it wasn't like...
I think also, I mean, I don't know what your experience was when you grew up, right? But I can tell you what the experience where I was, right? Because I was known to come from an okay family, right? Because at the end of the day, I still kind of grew up with the single mother when my father died, right? But from an okay household. When I go out there and I try to get involved in certain things, them fellas used to run me. Them fellas, nah, dog, this life is not for you.
Right.
You understand? You's a bright boy, or you's a nice boy.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? I don't know if it have much people out there now who willing to run.
Nah, if they have a use for you, they're using it. They don't have time with that. I mean, that was really my experience per se. Nobody was really telling me not to get it. I just didn't want to. I just kind of,
I mean, I'm not talking about, don't get me wrong, I'm not talking about going and murder or going and do...
Yeah. I know, but what I'm saying is, like, as I've always told him, if people try to ask me, like, why I feel I didn't go down that road, I always say, all I could chalk it up to is that I always felt I was not, that was for me. I had a degree of self-esteem that made that even though I was sitting down and lying with these fellas every single day, I always felt like different to them. And okay, if you want to say better than, I better than them. It might sound stupid, it might sound awful to say, and then who knows if it was reality, but the point is, I always felt like that. So we will line ting, and then when we going down that road, that's when I make my exit. You understand what I'm saying? Like, all right, later, I go on. That I know what you have to tell me, boy, no, this is not for you, and I mean, because some of the shit, how it was, how people, my contemporaries was getting into shit, it wasn't even really big people bringing in. It was bigger people, but not adults, who was bringing in. Who was, hey, come and do this, come and do that. It was men 2 years older than you.
Right.
So it wasn't no big man like, no, boy, you think you destined for good, no. It was just, we have a use for you, so we try to use you. And I just like, nah, bro, I good. I go, no. You know what I mean? And yeah, because for me, I always had a kind of, I used to dabble in both worlds. So there was those kinds of folks I would line with, and then there would be people who I would line with who was like from, especially when I went to secondary school, and I got to meet other people who were in the same area, or generally the same Belmont area, but I never used to see them before I went to school because it was kind of inside now. And I'll go online with them, when them on the shit, you know what I mean? And so I feel, and that's why I always say, if there is something I think that can change these individuals, it is self-esteem. It is if they feel that they are destined for more than that.
Hope.
Yes.
You feel you have hope that you could achieve more, you could do more, you could get more.
Yes.
Yeah, I always say that.
It is these people, largely, because they also have menaces, people who intend on being pests no matter what. But largely, I think if many of these people felt as if, and I said to my wife just the other day that this new area I live in there, when I go out on an afternoon to exercise by the savannah, it have a grab of young fellas that is real disturbing. Because these fellas, they're not disrespectful, they're not, but they don't look like they just go to school, boy, though. And all they just do is smoke weed and listen to their Trinidad music all day, whole night, right? Just walk around with a Bluetooth speaker. Just right through. And what I fear is, them fellas and them in the mother house now, right? and they're being looked after. But when these fellas reach of age and they realize, well, boy, I wasn't playing no sport, I wasn't learning no trade, I ain't getting no passes, what could be because they will sit down and they'll be like, well, boy, I had to get things.
I had to get things and I had to get girls.
How are getting these things? And because nobody is sitting these fellas down and saying, hey, not just, I know you're lineman day, no, dog, are you committed to deal? Because if it's 15, 16 of them, I'm sure 13 of them know about that life. And not really they don't want to commit themselves to that life. So it's like, hey, Brad, so you just stage where that's what you have to do, because, dog, we living in a world where paper is everything. Qualification. If you get anything out here, it's hard to get anything out here, even if you have papers, but worse if you don't have papers, right? What you gonna do? Ain't learning no skill. He ain't, them fellas just, right, what, dog, anytime after 2 in the afternoon, you just see them fellas roaming. And as I say, they're respectful, they're just here. When you see, if they're cussing, like if I walk in and they're cussing, oh, you're a big man, they boy.
Serious, they still at that level.
Yeah. But I telling you, them fellas ain't doing nothing. They're not doing anything with the time. And they're not looking, and they don't be in school. I never seen none of them in school uniform, bro, and they're all of school age. So either they just go to school and dirty and duck out early or whatever they're doing. But the point is, they're looking like they're taking academics seriously. They look like they're taking anything else seriously either.
Yeah, or anyway.
Because they just be by the field, they don't touch a football. Right?
Yeah.
Touch a basketball. Where them fellas going up? Where they going up? More and more of, and they're already in that, they listen to that kind of music all the time. And now, every one of them could easily get put in
to that
shit now. Whereas before, if you wasn't of that life or you wasn't really determined to get into that life, it might have been harder. But now it's like, nah, dog, every one of them knows somebody who could put them to work.
And a simple thing they put them to work to do,
Yeah, look out and
look out or drop off.
Yeah.
Go and drop. So
one of them go get access to them on a car, and then they go be, well, no, usually driver, and they go pick up this and wait for me. Poor moms now, thinking you take any car to go and, line with your friends or whatever, and shit you on. And that's always because nobody's left, because they will reach a stage where they have to get things, and they will say something, why could you to get things? Can sing, can dance, can play no sport.
You can't get employed, and then you blame the system because you never put nothing in place to be able to get employed. And
you had to talk to the parents too. You had to talk about the parents too. They're feeling them. Because nobody sitting these youth men now.
I must say, KG did say that too. I must say that. He said that the generation before, they had to take some blame too now.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. Because you must know your son ain't doing nothing. He doing nothing.
Yeah. But I think we're in an era now where we have a lot of parents, like they're afraid to talk to the children, or they're afraid to pressure the children.
True.
You understand?
Some of them, I think it's more that they don't care. They don't have time. They don't have time. Once the child not making noise in them head.
Well, the thing is, I was impressed man today, and I see a young boy, little child, I would say 6, 7, probably 8 for the oldest. And I heard a little black boy, right? The reason I say black, I said white people sharing this with them thing. If you hear this child is speaking to his mother in Price, man, and it's not to say it's an affluent woman. We adopting the American way of parenting. No, boy, dog, black girl, black. You understand?
Yeah.
And I'm like, she know man, and they just end up close to me right here, and I getting real annoyed.
Yeah.
Yo.
But I don't like it, man.
Yeah, boy, dog, boy.
But I...
And like Vincent, he asked me something, and she said, well, I don't have money for that. He said, you lie. And snatch your purse. And she like, give me back the purse. You lie. I'm going to check for the money, and he run over the purse. I like, whoa.
I don't see that very often, I'll be honest. I don't see that very often. I definitely don't see that very often.
And so I was like, how we reach here?
True. I mean, I think is it's a lot of parents just don't care. They don't put any time and effort into parenting. They just think their job is to make money by churning school clothes, books, shoes, and at the end of the work. And whoever the child mind. You know, some of them might be working so much they're not around, and
They're too tired.
and so once he not here, he not in the hair you know.
I mean, I think working is a big thing too, because if you see them coming out after 2, they really favorite working in town.
Yeah.
They're finishing work.
Yeah.
You finish work 4 o'clock, 4:30. You should be at 6 o'clock. You understand?
But if it was me, I would have to put things in place because when I come home, I must see.
Yeah, what school work you do?
We're here. Are you sure me not here? You know what I mean? Because that's all. Like, man, them move from there when they say, well, lights turn off.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, when they come home, they must see not there. You know what I mean? So, what you doing? And as I say, I've never seen, there are about 2 of them that I've seen in uniform before, really. But most I've never seen in uniform. All of them are of school age. So, I think it's a lot of parents who just don't care. They think their job is simply to provide care. And the other thing is that things that should be red flags to them are just not red flags. Like, you know, it's crazy, you know, how the same people who would complain about the behavior of young people now would play music and see a little child skin out and laugh.
Right.
So it's like, don't you understand that that's kind of what elevates into they don't care behavior when they're in the you know what I mean? So, but they just, them things don't bother them. Like, you know, as far as they know, boy, my son, he does lie with his partners and, you know, I smoke a little weed, I used to smoke weed too. It's a big thing, you know what I mean? I'm not saying smoking weed is a big thing, but I just saying not doing nothing is a big thing. And if you don't play that tape out to the end, where you go, well, if he does nothing and he's unemployable, he's going to reach a stage where he's going to get really frustrated. And he go what things.
But the thing is, I think even the smoking the weed is a thing, you know, because you gotta be able to support your vice. I don't know how it is.
Well, I think that's what the parents just do. They just give them money. They just come home and give him a $300 for the week or $250 for the week or whatever. And they think their work done. They think their work is done there. He asks for sneakers, you buy him a sneakers. He asks for when term reach, you buy uniform, you buy clothes. If you go to school, you go to school. He come home, he failing every year. Well, go whatever, you know, he in school is not free. All right, cool. What is it?
Yeah.
So I'm saying, so it's just people don't understand the role that they need to play as parents, and they're not prepared to put the time and the effort and the hard work. And listen, the neighborhood I'm talking about is a fairly decent neighborhood. You know what I mean? So this is not poor people trend necessarily, but it's just slackness, just slackness.
The message to closed off, hey, listen, even if you're not living in a poor people area or in a hot spot area, you still have to look at your children, because if you leave your children to fall by the wayside, somebody go pick them up and somebody will find use for them.
We'll find use for them, and then he'll be upcoming for all of us.
Yeah. Right? The bigger problem for you. Because when you're on TV and say son is a good boy, don't put yourself in that position. Alright, this will wrap it up for this week.
So, you'll be back next week, boy?
I know we gotta see.
Yeah, work it out. See, hopefully we have some less heavy things to deal with.
Yeah, my dad come back with Barca TV TT next week. And that?
Yeah, we out.
Later.